I'm back, Kevin O'Brien here, and man, it's been a tough year. It's been crazy. I mean, with my father dying in January of this year, and then my mother dying just a few weeks ago. Even though you can be estranged from your family, not talk to them for many years, even before they've died, it's still painful because you wish you had a different family. You wish you had a different situation. And I know you guys are right. Just smile. Just get on with your life. Try to focus your mind on more positive thoughts. And I'm doing that. I mean, I'm stable. Financially, I'm stable. But lately, emotionally and psychologically, I have not been feeling too good, to be honest. I guess what it is, I'm just recovering from my estranged sister trying to get me to go to my mother's funeral a few weeks ago, and me resisting that temptation, because I knew if I went that I would be in trouble with my niece and nephew, and because my sister would have been filling their heads up with poison, the bad uncle Kevin. Yeah, it's a tough decision to make, but sometimes you just have to keep focusing on your own life, focusing on yourself, because it's an interesting thing. Whenever you don't hear anything from a narcissist for a long time, there's no contact with them, you start making changes in your life that are positive. Things start going well for you. But as soon as you re-engage with them, or if they reach out to you and you get hoovered into their bullshit, you start to suffer, because again, they start accusing you of being the one who has done so many terrible things, and you're the one who's made all these terrible decisions in your life. And you often have to remind yourself that a lot of that is just projection. They're projecting their own bad decisions onto you, trying to make you the one to blame for all of the unhappiness, all of the estrangement. And what a lot of people don't understand is estrangement is part of the family system. What I mean is, it's not just one person in the family that causes the phenomena of estrangement. It takes the entire family to cooperate in the estrangement process. And what I mean by that is, if other family members, let's call them the perpetrators or the abusers, whatever you want to label them as, if they're not willing to take accountability for bad behavior or accept responsibility for their bad behavior, then they are contributing to the estrangement of the family and the separation of the family. Because a family is like a system. It's like an engine in a car. If the carburetor's not working, the rest of the engine won't work either. It's all a synchronous situation. So I'm not sure if that model helps you to understand family system dynamics. But yeah, I mean, it just takes one part of the engine to be not working properly for the whole engine to not work properly. So when one member of the family says, hey, I don't like the way you're treating me, I don't like the way you're discussing my body weight, how I dress, the kind of jobs that I have, my education or lack thereof, the things I choose to educate myself about, if you don't like my choices, I really don't want to hear about it. That's your problem. I have my life and you have yours. I don't criticize you on your choices and the things you decide to do in your life. I could, but I choose not to, because I have respect for you. These are the kinds of things, this is what happens to people when they are estranged from their family. They get disrespected by the people that should love them the most, and they walk away. And it's a sad thing. Am I sad that I had to walk away from a family, I'm sure, of course I'm sad about it. I'm sad more that it couldn't have been resolved. Neither one of my parents ever reached out to me. Now they're dead, they're gone. That's the end of it. But while they were alive, they never ever reached out to me and apologized for anything. Never. To me, that's just wrong. It's just wrong. And like I said, when you've been estranged from a family for a long time, and things are going smoothly in your life, like for example, I've got a really great partner, beautiful woman, and I have a beautiful son. We have a beautiful son together. And, I'm financially stable and relatively healthy person. I put on a little bit of weight because of the trip to Thailand. I just got back to the Philippines on October the 30th. But other than that, I'm pretty healthy. It's just the emotions that you look back on your life. You go way back into your childhood and you can see where things went wrong. You can see, you start to say, well, that's probably why I was the kind of kid that I was in school, because of the way I was treated at home. Everything has a domino effect. It's so important to treat your kids with respect and raise your kids in a healthy way. Don't be hypercritical of everything they do. Let them be themselves. It's really important. I tell myself that every day with my own son. Like sometimes he'll yell and raise his voice, and I'll just keep quiet to myself. Let him talk as much as he wants. Let him raise his voice as much as he wants. Because in my house, I was always told to, children are better seen than heard. It's better to be seen than heard when it comes to children. I was told to shut up a lot, don't talk, be quiet. And those kinds of things can really become deeply ingrained in your psyche, and it can affect your emotional, psychosocial development for the rest of your life. So, yeah, I was doing really well before my estranged sister contacted me to try and get me to go to my mother's funeral. I was doing so well before she made that contact, because when I'm not in contact with her or any of those deceased relatives, everything was going relatively smoothly. I was on the path. But that's what happens when the narcissist reaches out again and tries to hoover you in. Suddenly your whole world gets sort of turned upside down. And it takes a little while to reestablish equilibrium again, and get yourself doing healthy things like jumping rope and exercising and eating right, avoiding alcohol, drinking very little alcohol, those types of things. Just if you've gone through something like I've gone through, if you've experienced narcissistic sibling reaching out and trying to blame you for all of their problems, you are the cause of all of their problems. I have compassion for you. I know it's not easy, because I've been on the receiving end of it. And when people project all of their own problems onto you, as if you're the bad person, you're the one who's created all the chaos, it's hard. It's hard to deal with. It takes a lot of energy to recover from that kind of emotional abuse. So this channel, is part of my own healing journey. It's part of my own healing journey. But I also want to share my experience of what it's been like to not go to the funerals of two estranged parents. I wanted to share to you what that feels like. It feels terrible. It feels terrible because you feel sad, you wish it was different. You know, some people, they lose parents and they're reminiscing about the good times they had when their parents were alive, but I don't have a lot of those memories. I don't remember having heart-to-heart talks with my mom or my father. I don't remember. And that's kind of weird. I think a lot of people, normal people, who grew up with sort of psychologically normal families, you know, healthy families, when their parents pass, they have that deep sadness because they had deep connections with those parents, you know, like supportive, emotionally supportive parents that they trusted they could share their deepest worries and concerns and fears with, and have it reflected back to them with empathy. You know what I mean? I think you know what I'm talking about. So for those of you who have experienced estrangement in your family, and especially those of you who are my age, you know, I'm getting old. I mean, maybe I'm not old, but I'm 54 years old. To me, I can feel, you know, I look in the mirror, I mean, I'm getting gray, I'm getting wrinkles, you know, it's just part of life. You're getting older and you just want, you don't want any drama anymore, you want peace. You know, you're looking for peace. And at times like this, I've been alone for the last 48 hours because my partner and my son went to his grandmother's birthday party and they stayed overnight. I didn't go. This is another thing. I could have gone, you know. I mean, I probably should have gone, but I didn't go because of all these feelings I'm having inside. I feel so disconnected, you know, from socializing. Like there's this inner anxiety and it's hard to shake. But I'm getting better because I talked to my partner about it and I told her, you know, the feelings of loneliness and anxiety and thinking about death. Like I've been thinking about death so much lately, ever since my mother died a few weeks ago. I've been thinking about my own death and when am I gonna die? How long am I gonna live? I hope I can live long enough to see my son have a good life, you know, things like that. And I don't know, man, I just don't want to think, I don't want to think like that. You know, I want to have a normal life, think normal thoughts, like not obsess over the past. The past is the past. And I guess that's the thing. I say this for myself, but I'm also saying it for anybody who needs help. You really do have to focus on the present moment and let go of the past. It is what it is. The only thing you can change is here and now. You can't even affect the future. You can't affect the past, only the present. That's all you've got. That's all you've got. So, anyway, I don't know. I just wanted to share this video because I needed to get this stuff off my chest, and maybe it's somewhat therapeutic for other people to hear these kind of stories.